Hey everyone, welcome back to WizardingAlice. My name is Alice. On this channel we cover all things Harry Potter, Wizarding World, and a bit of Scotland travel and lifestyle thrown in there as well, so if that sounds like something that interests you, be sure to subscribe below. Today's video is a bit of an unusual one, but it's actually a life update. So if you watched my Q&A video, which was couple of weeks ago, a month ago, I don't know, I've completely lost track. I kind of hinted that I am going back to school, which is so exciting. I would like to say I'm going back to Hogwarts, but no, sadly not, but I am going back to university. And this is incredibly exciting for me because I love school. I'm such a nerd. I love being at university. I've done 2 degrees before, so I've done a psychology and business degree and I've done a criminology and criminal justice master's degree. So this is technically degree number 3 as I'm branding it. But yeah, ever since I finished being at university, I've missed it so much. I just generally miss learning. I try and teach myself as much as possible, but it's really not the same as getting that proper learning. I'm teaching myself Spanish at the moment. I'm trying to teach myself more about geography and stuff like that. So I do it in my own time, but like I say, I really miss having like a teacher and a class and resources and homework to do and all that kind of stuff. I know I sound crazy, but I love it. So you may be wondering, what am I going to study? Well, I am officially enrolled with the Open University. If you don't know about it, it's a solely online university. So you can study from anywhere, hence why it's called the Open University. There's a bunch of different degrees that you can do with the Open University. You can do pretty much anything, but I am doing their Open degree. You might not have heard of it before. Essentially, you can pick anything. So, you know, obviously if you were going to study a science degree, you typically have to stick with the science related courses. You may get to do like 1 or 2 modules here and there and something else that interests you, but generally you have to follow a specific path to get that science degree. Same with art or, you know, anything else. The Open degree doesn't have that. You can study literally anything. So one semester I could study art history, the next I could study planetary science, the next I could study geology. You know, it's completely random, and as long as you get the right number of credits at the end, you have an open degree because they can't necessarily classify it as anything specific. So that's what I'm gonna do. I figured this was a good one for me because obviously I don't need a 3rd degree. I'm doing it purely for my own interests, so I don't have to worry about, you know, its marketability or employability or anything like that. I can literally just pick and choose whatever I want to do, which is why I'm so excited about it. I'm really excited to be able to just sort of pick and choose what takes my fancy. I've already picked my subjects for this year. I am doing it part-time. So it runs on the English system, the Open University. So it takes 3 years to complete a degree, but because I'm doing it part-time, it'll take me 6 years. So I do half the amount of subjects each year. So I've already picked my subjects for this year, and in my mind, I've picked out my subjects for the rest of the entire 6 years that I do the course. Obviously things might change and different things become available and stuff like that, but yeah, I've kind of already got in my mind what I'm gonna do. I need to do a part-time degree because I do work full-time, so I just couldn't make, you know, doing an additional 30-40 hours a week possible. This way I'm doing it more like 15-16, which is still a lot. I'm gonna have to, you know, work during the weekends and in my lunch breaks and after work and things like that, but I'm willing to put in the time and the commitment to make it work for sure. I think this is going to be such a cool journey for me. I'm going to really expand myself, expand my knowledge. I really can't wait. Now, as I said, I already know what subjects I'm going to do. So, well, first of all, I'll start with the subjects I'm going to do this year. So basically it's from October to June, so that's like 1 academic year for me. So the way I'm going to structure the degree is I'm going to do sort of half Spanish, half history and culture kind of thing is what I'm going to do. I'd love to be able to sort of get accreditation for the Spanish that I've been learning and kind of consolidate that, because I do think, based on what I've seen, my first year of Spanish is very much going to cover things I know already, but I'm more than happy with that. It'll be nice to sort of ease my way into the degree without starting with anything too intense, because it has been a good few years since I've last studied, so I am a little bit nervous about, you know, forgetting how things work and stuff like that. But In year one, I'm actually studying 2 courses because they're 2 smaller courses. Normally you just do one that's worth 60 credits, but I'm doing 2 that are worth 30, so they're not quite as intensive. But the first one I'm doing is beginner Spanish, as I say, which is very exciting. So I've already got the textbooks. Hold on, let me grab them. They gave us quite a lot of stuff. I think I technically got 4 textbooks. I've just sort of grabbed what I can here, but you'll see this is the first one. Portales Beginner Spanish, and then I've got the same like books 2 and 3 here. It's quite intensive. I had a quick little read over the first chapter because I'm not sure yet. They haven't told us what they want us to look at before the class starts, and it is all stuff I know. I think I got a bit freaked out by thinking like, oh, what does this mean? But I just realized that they're teaching what I know in a different way, and I just need to be like, oh, that's that. Okay, I know that. So yeah, but I'm very excited, and obviously it covers a lot about, you know, Spanish culture and Latin American culture and that kind of thing. So got these. I also got a much smaller book, which is like an introduction to the course. It kind of explains how the course works and things like that. And then I got like 6 CDs of, you know, which is obviously for listening practice, but I don't have anything to play physical CDs, so I'm gonna have to figure that one out. But yes, so a bunch of textbooks there for that one. I'll show you my resources as well. So this is a book I bought from Paper Chase. It's pink with a little gold light bulb on it. I just thought it was so cute and simple, and I love it, and it's got nice lined paper on the inside. So this is going to be my Spanish book. So in about a week's time from when I'm filming this, which is about a month before classes start, I'll be given essentially homework and prior reading to do before the class starts. So that's when I'll start writing in this, and then I'll continue to use it throughout the year as well. I just prefer writing. If I'm in a lecture and it's all going really fast, I'll type it because obviously I'm a quicker typer, but then afterwards I like to write it down. It just helps me remember things better. I'm sorry if I sound really like sniffly, by the way. I'm recovering from a cold. I'm always recovering from something, but my nose is like super blocked. The other subject I'm going to be studying is, I forgot what it's called now, Introduction to Language and Culture. So again, I've got so many books. I've got 3 textbooks for this one, and this, it's Exploring Languages and Culture. This was one I wasn't like, you know, like, oh, I must study it, but there was a very limited number. I knew I wanted to do the Spanish course, so obviously I needed to do another 30 credit course to bring it up to 60, and there wasn't that many I was interested in, but I did think Exploring Languages and Cultures would be pretty useful. It kind of gives you the basics of like accents and how languages are formed and how they work and how you communicate with people either speaking your own language or speaking a different language. So I thought it would be quite good to consolidate what I'm learning in Spanish. So I apologize, it's actually 4 textbooks, and we study language and communication in the digital age, intercultural competence at work, which is good because I actually do quite a lot of like employability stuff in my job, language, cultures and communities, and just language and culture is what we're going to start with. And again, I've had a little read and it does actually sound really interesting. So although I didn't think it really sounded that interesting to begin with, I'm actually looking forward to this one the most. I think that one's going to be really, really good. And for that one, I am using this notebook, which again is the same, but it's white and it's got a gold feather on it as well. So yes, that's going to be my Languages and Cultures notebook. I'm all about the stationery. The other thing I've bought is that this is also from Paper Chase. It's just like a box file kind of style thing. So if we get any printouts and handouts and things like that, I'm going to put them in there. So far I've just put the little books I was telling you about, that, you know, tell you how the course works and things like that. So put them in there, and also the many Spanish CDs that I've been given as well. So again, any printouts, anything I need to have a physical copy of, I'll just pop it in here, but I'm assuming most things will be online, but it just keeps everything nice and safe because I don't have a huge amount of space in my room. I work from home, so my desk needs to be taken up with most of that stuff, so I need to try and keep everything as sort of compiled and compact as possible, which isn't easy when you get 8 textbooks for your first year. So yeah, that's basically how my first year is going to work, and then I've kind of got a rough idea of what modules I want to do going forward, so I'll tell you a little bit about them as well. Okay, so in my second year, which is technically the second part of my first year, if you're following me, I want to study a module called Culture, which is, I've kind of got my notes over here, so I'm going to be looking, it's about place, power, art, and journeys, and that sounds really cool. It's a 60 module subject, so it's a bit more in-depth, but you get to study like the difference between Beyonce and Elizabeth I and how they use art and things like that to portray who they are. You know, it just sounds really interesting. It's more about sociology with a bit of history in there as well, which is my jam 100%. Then in year 3 for me, which is the beginning of year 2, I'm going to study exploring the classical world. So there's going to be more of an emphasis there on Greek and Roman culture. So we're really going more into history, but it's still got a bit of that culture in there. We'll study Homer and the Odyssey and things like that. This is always something I've been interested in, but I know embarrassingly little about, is like ancient Greek and Roman culture. So I'm really looking forward to that. I think that's going to be a really, really fun one to get to study, and I'm looking forward to just expanding my knowledge in that area. And then in year 4, I might switch year 3 and 4 about. It doesn't really matter. I can do them in any order I want, but so I don't forget, I'm going to do Spanish Studies 2. So that's the follow-on to Beginner Spanish. And that's obviously just a Spanish in more depth, and you get to learn a lot more about how Spain works and its culture and its politics, and same with the Latin American countries as well. So I'm really looking forward to that. I do believe in that module you get to go to Spain and you do a week-long residential school, so I really hope I get to do that. I think that would be a great way to get to actually speak Spanish, and just a holiday to Spain never hurts, does it? You don't have to pay for it, but still, I'm considering it like a free holiday to Spain. And then in year 5, years 5 and 6, which are my last 2 years, there's no Spanish module available for me, unfortunately. So I'm pretty much going to drop the Spanish at that point. And in year 5, I'm going to study empires, which goes from the 1400s to the 1970s, I believe. So again, a lot of that history and culture kind of mixed in together. I'm really interested in the Tudors and Elizabeth I, and obviously the 1400s, it's going to really cover all of that, the Spanish Empire, you know, all that kind of thing. Moving through to the 70s. I don't know why it stops at the 70s, but I guess I'll find out. So looking forward to that one. And then finally, I'm going to go back to my ancient Greek and Roman stuff and do Greek and Roman myths, which again is something I've always been interested in, but I know woefully little about. And I think that will be a really fun course to just sort of finish off the degree. As I say, things may change, things may no longer be available, they may get rid of a module and things like that, so things may differ, but you can see that generally I've got a theme. Aside from the Spanish, it's really culture and history is what I'm particularly interested in. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to doing a degree where I don't have to think at all about how employable it is, or you know, things like that. I've got that. This one I can just do for fun, and I'm so excited. So technically year 1 is probably going to be my least exciting year, because I'm really just getting those introductory modules out the way. But then after that, I can't wait. It's going to be so good. I'm nervous, of course. I've totally forgotten all my skills. I've forgotten how to reference and all that kind of stuff, but I'm sure it'll come back to me, and it's really nice that I can kind of work it around my work, because it is the Open University. They appreciate that most people studying with them have other commitments, and that's why they're doing an online degree. But yeah, I think the only thing is, I think like once a week you have a tutorial for each class, and that's live and at a specific time. But you know, I'm very lucky that I can work quite flexibly, so you know, I can take it during my lunch break and just move things around and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I'll maybe do a progress report after 1 year and talk about, you know, how it went, what I'm doing in my next year, you know, things like that. But I'm so excited for this, and obviously I appreciate how fortunate and lucky I am that I'm in the position where I'm able to do a 3rd degree. You know, I completely appreciate, you know, that not many people are in a situation where they're able to do that. So I do just want to emphasize that, and I am paying for it myself, which is not easy, but I've come up with a budget plan for it and all this kind of thing, and it's definitely something that I really am placing a lot of value on, because it brings me so much joy. I'm not sure it brings a lot of joy to a lot of people, but I love it. And if I'm in the same fortunate position after I finish this degree, I would certainly consider going on and doing another one. There's one I'm quite interested in. It's more of a structured degree. It'll always have to be with the Open University. I couldn't ever go back to actually going to a university, just with full-time work and stuff, it's just not possible. But there's one, it's politics, philosophy and economics. Now, I know that doesn't sound that interesting, but I've always, I did Advanced Higher Modern Studies in school, which is the highest, it's basically like AP level if you're American. It's like the top you can study at school. And modern studies had a lot of politics and things like that, and I was always quite interested in it, so I'd like to learn a bit more about that. I studied philosophy in school as well, and I loved it, so I'd love to be able to kind of delve into that a bit more. And economics, yeah, this sounds totally boring and I'm not good at maths at all, but I would like to know more about money and how it works, and I think that would be quite an interesting one to do. I'd also be interested in doing a law degree, just in its most basic level, just because I think, again, I'd be quite interested to learn more about that. I think the last few years has really made me want to learn more about how the country works and runs, and just have a bit more understanding of what's going on. So that's maybe something I'll do in the future, but right now I'm just interested in doing the fun, light, fluffy stuff, if you can call it that, although I'm sure I won't find it that way once I actually get going with it. But yeah, I appreciate this was a bit more of a different video, but I just wanted to get it out there, talk a little bit about, you know, how I'm going to be spending a lot of my time. I'm certainly going to be busy because obviously I've got my job and YouTube takes up a lot of time, and obviously I'll be doing this as well, and then obviously everything else, like trying to socialize and live my life and eat and things like that. So I'm going to be very busy, but I love being busy. I can't be idle. I need to be doing stuff. So I'm really looking forward to it. We'll see how things go. I might do a year and decide to pause for a little while because it was just a bit too much. We'll see. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, even though it was a bit different. I just feel like you guys are part of my little community, and I like to keep you updated with, you know, what's going on in my life and what I'm up to and things like that. So I wanted to do this little video just to kind of explain what will be going on soon. So I really hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I've got all my social links in the description below. And until then, I will see you next time. Bye!